alongside the fine, beautiful Anu Gabriel. So you're looking very sharp. You're looking nice. Right. We also want to thank Right Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, who has been instrumental in pushing for the bill, and everybody that has been part of this process.
Good morning, friends, and it's such an honor to welcome you to the first of its kind conversation with Nigerian youth on the Reserved Seat for Women Bill. Before we start proper, let's take the national anthem first.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians all are proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shows that truth in peace, oh, paranoid, and this we count as gain. To hand unto our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed, and so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
Once again, welcome. Today's season is brought to you by Women Radio 91.7 FM and the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation in support of the Reserved Seats for Women Bill. We are live now on Women Radio 91.7 FM. So if you're in Lagos and Ogun State, tune in to your radio 91.7 FM.
We're also live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So wherever you are joining us from, you are part of this important conversation. The link to YouTube and Facebook is being dropped on the chat box. Please share with friends and families so we can get the whole Nigerian to this conversation.
We mentioned at first that, see, everybody will join this webinar.
Yes.
The first 100 youths will give them their data.
Sure.
Of course, you have to stay to the end
Yeah.
and drop your name and number for your data refund at the chat box. And now we are going to talk about the housekeeping rules. Now, for this webinar, we advise that you keep your microphones muted unless you are speaking. Do not put your microphone on if you're not speaking. So be mute always.
If you have a question, kindly drop it in the Zoom chat or comment section. If you're joining from social media, please drop your question on the platform and we will read. We will have a Q&A session towards the end where participants can speak directly. Yes. Let's watch this 5-minute video on the Reserved Seats bill.
This is Nigeria, my Nigeria, full of opportunities with over 200 million diverse people. The Nigeria of our dream, where men and women can work together side by side and sit at the decision-making table together in harmony to make Nigeria greater. The Nigeria of our dream will become a reality when the 10th National Assembly passes House Bill 1349. What is House Bill 1349?
Present an opportunity to reshape representation peacefully but about making reform a reality. When history gives us a pivotal moment, let us open the door wide. I sincerely thank our partners, CAS, UNDP, National Assembly Library Trust Fund, for their presence, patience, and purposeful participation. Let us continue to learn, plan, and act with the urgency the moment demands and the seriousness this subject deserves. God bless you all. God bless the
House Bill 1349, also known as HB 1349, proposes to reserve seats for women in the National Assembly and State Houses of Assembly to address the underrepresentation of women in legislative bodies. According to the bill, one additional seat for each state and FCT will be reserved for women, while the House of Representatives will have 2 additional members for each state and the FCT, who shall be women. The reserved seat for women bill is a vital step towards building a more inclusive, representative, and a just democracy. The reserved seat for women House Bill 1349, sponsored by Deputy Speaker Honorable Kalu, addresses the low number of women in Nigerian politics to ensure women are participating in the decision-making process.
HB 1349, that is the brand. You should promote that brand, HB 1349. HB means House Bill. House Bill 1349. So they ask, what bill do you want us to vote for? What is this bill? You tell them 1349. You should promote 1349 to the extent that anybody who hears 1349, they know that you're talking about the reserved seat bill. So own that number.
The chairman of the House Committee on Women Affairs and Social Development, Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, said the reserved seats bill is a significant step towards promoting women's empowerment and representation in politics. Ogbara appealed to legislators to work together to ensure its passage and implementation.
We are calling on all stakeholders, starting from our father, the father of the nation, the vice president of the federation, Senator Kashim Shettima, all our governors forum, all the 36 governors that we have in Nigeria, including the FCT, the Minister of the FCT, former Governor Yeson Buke. We are calling on all the speakers of all our houses of assembly, all our members of the houses of assembly, all members of the National Assembly, the Senate President, the Deputy Senate President, the leadership of the Senate, the leadership of the House of Assembly, all relevant stakeholders, all local government leaders, citizens at large, government officials, civil society organizations, and everybody, all Nigerians, to support this crucial bill.
The reserved seat for women bill, when passed, will bring numerous benefits to Nigeria. The reserved seat for women bill is our opportunity to reshape representation peacefully, expand democracy, and promote an inclusive Nigeria. We appeal to our legislators to please pass the bill when presented to them in October. Please allow the bill to succeed for history to remember you as the 10th assembly that reformed Nigeria's political space. As history is giving you a pivotal moment, please open the door for your sons, daughters, and generations unborn to be proud of you. May God bless Nigeria.
Wow, beautiful. I mean, see, we encourage everybody to share this video so everybody can watch. Right, this video gives a summary on House Bill HB 1349, and it's very important that everybody understands it. The purpose of today's seminar is very simple, and it's for young people. Right, the purpose of this seminar is to sensitize Nigerian youths on the reserved seats bill, so everybody understand the benefit of this bill and how we feel make reality. Now today, let's meet our amazing speakers for today. We selected amazing speakers that have been a part of this advocacy and activism around the bill. We have Rebecca Gamaliel, who is a media practitioner, a host, and an amazing young lady. We have Emmanuel Olonade Olonade here is a communications officer. He's also a communication and public affairs analyst. We have Chika Kumle, who is a politician. She's the gender advocate. She's also the executive director of Women Development and Monitoring Initiative.
I would like to acknowledge our distinguished adversary, members who are with us today. They'll be taking us on our question and answer session. We have with us here Yeye Bumidiko Salami, Mr. Austin Aibe, and Ms. Ene Ede. These leaders have been strong supporters of the movement for women political inclusion.
Thank you for staying with us so far.
Yeah.
So right now, we dey go straight into the main topic with our speakers. We'll be unpacking the reserved seats for Women Bill, what it's about, why it matters, and how can we play a role in making it happen. So I'll start with the amiable, beautiful, young Rebecca, then move to Emmanuel, and then also Chikas.
Okay, Rebecca, can you break it down for everyone here? What exactly is the reserved seat for Women Bill about? And what does the special seat for Women Bill propose, please?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Rebecca Gamaliel. Can you all hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can.
we can.
Okay, fantastic. So I'm going to go straight into what the reserved seat for Women Bill is. So it is a proposed bill specifically called House Bill 1349, and it's sponsored by Honorable Benjamin Kalu, who is the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. To break it down further, this bill seeks to create room for addition of one female senator per state and the FCT. So that's going to be a total of 37 seats at the Senate exclusively for women. It also adds one additional female of members of the House of Representatives per state and the FCT as well. So this is going to propose about 12.8% of the seats at the House of Representatives will be occupied by women solely. Also, HB 1349, that's the House Bill 1349, also proposes that there should be an addition of 3 female members per state assembly. That means 1 woman per senatorial state. Let me just break this down. All this means is there's going to be about 162 women that will have exclusive seats at the state assembly. Okay, so for those of you that don't understand the big terms, this is exactly what it means. Okay, so breaking it down further, let me just delve into what this bill is. It's just saying that in Nigeria, representation matters. And for too long, Nigerian women have been underrepresented, where the laws and policies that shape our lives are made. Nigerian women are sitting just 4%. It's very, very small. So the reserved seat for Women Bill is a bold step to change that. It proposes that, we are creating additional seats in the National and State Assembly, and it will be reserved exclusively for women through special constituencies. So these seats are not about taking the positions that are already there for men. No, or from the existing female legislators. No. It just means that we are expanding the table so that more voices, more perspectives and experiences can be heard, okay? So by addressing this, we're addressing the historical imbalance. So the bill HB 1349 promotes this inclusive governance that reflects the reality of our population and ensures that, decisions are shaped by women and men equally and meaningfully, okay? So it's not like it's just for men alone or it's for women alone. There's going to be equality, equity, and it's going to be meaningful. So just so you can take this thought home with all the information I've given, you need to know that in Nigeria, where women and men live together is not a dream, it is the future. And the reserved seat bill is how we get there to the future. Thank you, and I hope I've answered your question.
Thank you, Rebecca. I mean, that was powerful. So, see, many people want to know, Mr. Emmanuel. Okay, Emmanuel, I'll ask you this. Can you tell us what is the current situation? Because we need to understand before you solve anything, you need to know the problem. So what is the problem? What's the current situation? Why are we clamoring for reserve seat bill? What's the current situation with women in leadership without the bill?
Well, thank you very much. Basically, I would say at this point that the current situation without this bill with women in power is that women are underrepresented. Just as Rebecca has said, we have low number of women that are representing us in legislative arm of government and also in other arms of government. Let's take a critical look at this number. I'm trying to break this number down so that we can totally understand what we mean by underrepresentation, so that you know we are not just using a terminology, but we are speaking with facts and data. For example, in the Senate, we have 4 women out of 109 members. That means 105 members of the Senate are men, while just 4 are women. And if you look at the percentage of that, that is just 3.7%, a very low number. So when we say that women are underrepresented, we are speaking to the facts and the figures that we have. Let's look at the House of Representatives, for example. We have 15 out of 360 members that are women. And what is the percentage of that? Just a mere 4.2%. That is House of Representative members. And when you look at Nigeria, one of the most important arm of government is the legislative, because that is where laws are formulated. That is where what pertains to democracy are enacted. So when we don't have women there, women are not being given a voice. They are underrepresented. And this is why we are clamoring for this bill, HB 1349, to come to pass. And please, I don't want to say if the bill comes to pass. I want us to use the word when the bill comes to pass. So when the bill is passed, we should not be saying if the bill is passed. We should be looking at when the bill is passed, what are we going to have? Let me move to State House of Assemblies, which is very important, because when you look at Nigeria federalism, State House of Assemblies are important. They are where we can reach grassroots women. They are where laws are formulated that affect grassroots women a lot before we move to federal and every component of our assembly is very important when we talk about the special seat bill. So let's look at the number in State House of Assembly. 45 out of the 991 State House of Assembly members are women. I mean, in the whole 36 states, State House of Assembly, we have just 45 out of 991 that are women. And what is the percentage? 4.5%. So, and let me even take it further. There are some states or House of Assembly in Nigeria that don't have women representatives. We have 36 states in Nigeria, and 15 states in Nigeria don't have a single woman as part of their state House of Assembly. So when we speak to the fact that women are underrepresented, we are not just speaking grammar. We are speaking with facts and data, and we are speaking with the reality on ground that speaks to the fact that women are actually underrepresented, and this is why HB 1349 is very important. Permit me to say, after giving you all this breakdown, these figures, that we are not saying that women are coming in to take the position of men. No. What women are saying right now is they are seeing men as allies in promoting democracy. So when we say more seats for women at the table, we are saying that men, please be our allies. Let's promote this democracy together. And as Rebecca rightly said, nobody is taking away the existing seats that we have. They will still remain intact. The 109 seat in the Senate will be there. The 360 seats in the...
Most striking is 17 states in Nigeria do not have a single women representative. It is striking.
To answer your question.
It is worrying.
Chicas, let me ask you. Good morning, Chicas. You look good, by the way. Let me ask you a question. So many people are asking who the bill go help, sir. Who they ask? People have, I think a friend of mine reached out to me asking, who the bill go help? So why is the reserve seat for women bill important? And tell us what the National Assembly will look like when the bill is passed, and how the reserved seat bill will be beneficial to Nigerians as a whole, please.
In other words, how does it affect the price of Gary?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I like how you asked the question. How the bill will take help us? This bill is very important because it's going to help everybody. It's not going to just help women. So the bill is not about women. The bill is about Nigeria. It's about sustaining our democracy. And one of the key areas why we need to all be on the table, put all hands on deck, is because the bill has so many areas where it's going to be beneficial to everybody. And some of the key important areas that we need to appreciate and see how we need to speak to our senators, speak to our representatives and House of Assembly members is because the bill seeks to address the gross imbalance in the House. And why it's important for us to have it now is because women are 50% of the population of Nigeria. And if we bring in more women in the room, then the data that Ima has given us will now shift from having not just 5% of women representation across the parliament to a bigger number. I'll come to the numbers, but now I want to state how important it is. So first is going to be addressing the imbalance because the 50% of the population will be in the room. And then Nigeria is far behind other countries. Look at countries like Rwanda, look at Ghana, look at Senegal. So this bill is important because it will bring in more women in the room and also boost our reputation before other countries. I remember when Senator Ireti, the Senate Committee chairperson for Women Affairs and House Committee Chair on Women Affairs, Honorable Kafila, they say anytime they go for IPU meetings, that's International Parliamentary Union meetings, Nigeria, they don't take us serious because they come with only few women, 1 or 2. But you see other countries, you see a lot of women representation. And this will help boost the image of our country because beyond just having the representation in the House, if we go to international platforms, we will have the mouth to talk as other countries are doing. Another important thing that this bill will bring to the table is Nigerian women will be part of solving key national issues. Issues like health, issues that concern security, issues about education. You know, all of these issues are not issues that affect only one section of the population, but it affects everybody. So it's important that women come in so that all of those things will be addressed. And you know, once women are in the room, because they are directly affected by these issues like education, like health, basic needs of Nigerians, then at the end of the day, if they happen to be part of solving the problem, then the larger population will benefit from it. And one other important thing that this bill will bring to us is that it will broaden the representation and transparency. Right now, if you talk about governance, if you talk about politics, a lot of people are not interested because they feel there's no transparency, there's no accountability in it. But once you bring in more women, people will begin to ask questions. Oh yeah, we don't vote this woman. What did she do? You say we should bring in more women. Now we have them. What are they bringing to the table? But if you have all of this come to be, then more people will be interested in what happens in government. Because it is important for every citizen of Nigeria to ask the right questions. We need transparency. We need accountability from our leaders. And a lot of us do not even trust the leaders because we always used to hear figures flying all around our heads, billions here, billions gone in that other area. So if you bring in more women, believe me, there will be more transparency and people will be more interested in what happens in government. And another important thing that we need to push for this bill to come to be is that we were going to have legislation, that's policy drafting, laws making, that will reflect the population of the people. Right now, because we don't have a lot of women in the room, most of the laws that are being drafted, most of the policies that are drafted by government does not reflect the needs of the people. And we know they say democracy is a government of the people, for the people, and by the people. But as it is now, our own democracy is not looking like one that is for the people, and it's not looking like the one that is by the people. But once you have half of the population who are women significantly represented in the rooms, then you are going to have effective legislations. And this is going to benefit everyone, like I said before, because there will be key benefits that will reflect the diversity of the population. And you know, anywhere that women are represented, they don't just talk about the needs of women. They talk about the needs of youths, the men, and also children. So like the data that Emmanuel gave us, if you have a house of assembly where there are no women, it then means in those houses of assembly, the chairman committee on women affairs are headed by men. Committee on Women Affairs and Children headed by men. There's a limit to what they can do. But once you have women represented across the parliaments at the national and state assemblies, then all of those things will be addressed. And also, we need to also understand that these benefits are not just going to be limited to the political gains for women. Yes, we are going to have increased number of women in the room, but also it will address some of the key issues about building the integrity of our democracy, because you know the politics we practice now is because we are into a democratic system, and this will benefit us as a country because it will strengthen our democracy. People will begin to trust the system, and once there's trust in the system, then more people will be encouraged to contribute their quota to nations building. And I'll close by saying that this will not just see us moving the numbers. It will boost our image, and it's important that globally, when we talk about Nigeria being the giant of Africa, we should be standing tall and showing other smaller countries examples. Let them be learning from us and not seeing us going for engagements on international platforms and Nigeria is lagging behind. I'm going to make a reflection and also touch on the key areas that the data Emmanuel gave. If we are currently having 4% at the parliament, the national parliament, if we happen to move this bill and it comes to reality, we are going to now have 41 women in the Senate. So from 109 senators, we're now going to have 146. And that will be just 28% in the Senate. Then we'll come to the House of Representatives. We're going to have 37 additional seats, which will now bring the number from 360 to 397. And then we're going to have 51 women out of 346 women.
All right,
which for me is still not that much, but it's a good number because it's still below the 35% affirmative action that we're agitating for. But imagine we have a House of Representatives with 51 women. The kind of laws that will be made, the kind of leadership that Nigerians will enjoy across board will be one that will be impactful.
Thank you so much.
Going to the state assemblies, currently we have 1,101 members. If we have this bill passed, we are going to have 162 women.
Thank you so
and we'll
much.
Have 939 men. So it's a good number. It's a good thing that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, that was really elaborate. Because of time, we need to go into the next activity. Over to you.
Get ready for the night edition of the Voice of Women Conference and Awards, VOW 2025. Theme, Renaissance Men women's solidarity and grassroots women's influence for female leadership and governance. Mark your VOW 2025 calendar for Thursday, 2nd October 2025 at 9 a.m. at the NAF Conference Center, Abuja, Nigeria. VOW 2025 is a national conversation and solidarity for men and grassroots women working together for a national transformation to power more women in governance. To register, visit voiceofwomen.ng. VOW 2025 is brought to you by the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio WFM 91.7. Get ready for the...
All right, guys. Thank you. Please be reminded, every young person here, drop your phone number for data refund, and we'll get to you.
Okay. So the purpose of today's webinar is to sensitize Nigerian youth, the ones to the vibe, the ones to the flow, the Gen Zs, about the reserved seat for women bill, enabling us to understand its benefits, urgency, and how we can make it a reality. More women in politics means policies that better address the need of families, communities, and especially marginalized groups. Honestly, I don't they like this. I don't they get interest in politics.
I tell you, for real.
I mean, young people must not be left behind. The ones to the vibe, you cannot be left behind.
Yeah.
Thank you, Women Radio and the Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation for this opportunity. We are live on Women Radio 91.7 FM and live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So moving ahead, Rebecca, who can contest for the reserved seats when the bill is passed, please?
Thank you, Anu. Well done, everyone. So to answer your question on who can contest for the reserve seat bill, I'm just going to go straight into it. When the reserve seat bill for women is passed, emphasis on only women will be eligible to contest for these special seats, okay? What this means is, it's not just any woman that can go forward and say, I'm a woman, yes, the bill has been passed. Say, I'm the one that can sit. No. What it means that is, it will go through constitutional requirements such as age, educational qualifications, party membership, and other criteria that are already in place for legislative candidates. And most importantly, the bill will make it a legal obligation for political parties under INEC supervision. And this would ensure that women fill this seat, and INEC will play their role, knowing that this is a law that has been passed. And what this means is the opportunity is not just on paper, it will be actively enforced, ensuring capable and qualified women, emphasis on qualified women from all parts of Nigeria can step forward to lead and fill the seats. So yes, only women will fill the seats when this bill has been passed. That's HB 1349. Thank you.
Only women.
Yes.
So,
Only women, oh.
because sometimes we have meetings in town halls and they ask for women leader and you see a man. So this can be very funny.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the steps. Emmanuel, what steps, because we are going down to the practicality of this thing now. What steps are needed to ensure that the bill is passed? Emmanuel.
Thank you. Basically, we say that we have a whole lot of work to do, and part of the work we have to do is what we are doing right here. What are the steps needed for us to actually pass this bill? Advocacy to legislators. For every young person out there, whether you are in the urban area or in the rural area, you have a legislator representing you. You have to make your voice heard. You have to make advocacy to your legislators to ensure that they understand that this bill is very important and it's crucial at this point of our democratic settings in Nigeria. You also have to, those of us that belong to political parties, we have to talk to our party leaders. We have to talk to women leaders in our party. We have to speak to them. We have to tell them about this bill and why we, the young people, want this bill to be passed. Because, see, we are not talking about now, we are talking about the future. And don't forget that the bill also has a sunset clause of 16 years. That's for electoral cycle. So basically, we need to talk to these people and make advocacy to them. See, it's not fighting them, it's enlightening them, talking about, oh, if this bill is passed, the number would increase. If this bill is passed, we have more women in governance. If this bill is passed, women are represented, and then we are moving closer to the 35% Beijing and UN declaration. So we need advocacy to our legislators, our party leaders, our governors. So as youth, I know we are tech savvy, and there are a lot of ways that we can actually work on this bill. So please, advocacy is very important. And then we also have to decentralize or localize the passing of our information. This is where town halls, market runs is very important. When we talk about localizing this, I mean, we have to go to the rural areas. We have to enlighten those that are there. We have to break it down to them in our local and traditional languages. When you go to Borno, you have to speak their language. You have to ensure that we have materials, we have people who can speak their language, who can break it down to them in Yoruba, in Hausa, in Igbo, in Efik. You just have to break it down to them. So this is where town hall and sensitization campaigns come in. We have to do this. And because we are still youth, we have the energy. This is where we come in. So when I talk about town halls and sensitization, when you tell one person, the person tells another, you keep spreading it. And then the knowledge of HB 1349 keeps increasing. A lot of Nigerians keep getting to know about the bill. So what, again, can we do? We need to talk about engagement with CSOs. I mean, what people like Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation are doing, I think we need to commend them. Because when we have this engagement with CSOs, we have this kind of initiative coming up where we sensitize, where we talk about this bill, where we bring this bill to the knowledge of those who don't know about the bills yet. So CSOs, influencers, a lot of influencers out there, they have a large and huge following of young people. So we have to also engage with influencers so that they can speak about this bill, educate the influencers so that they can talk to other people. So when you look at the steps to passing this bill, I think it's just something that we all have to come together to ensure that we do the right thing, to ensure that we put in the work for this bill to be passed. So basically, we have to make it our own Lord's Prayer. You know, the Lord's Prayer is something you say every morning. So we have to say it every day. We have to talk about HB 1349. So when you wake up in English, you speak about HB 1349. When you wake up as a Yoruba person, you speak about it in your local dialect. As an Hausa person, as an Igbo person, you speak about it. The journey to passing this bill is not a long one, but it requires hard work. And hard work in the sense that there has to be a whole lot of sensitization. There has to be a whole lot of movement. So I'm encouraging each and every one of us here that if we are 100 on this webinar, or even if we are 50, and each one of us talks to 5-10 people about this bill, do you know there's a ripple effect and then it's expanding? So passing this bill requires work, but I'm very sure with the youth coming on board to understand what HB 1349 means, then passing the bill will be easy because we come with technological knowledge, we come with better ways and new ways of passing information. But the truth is, we have to also reach the grassroots, because if you look at the number of voters that we have that are women, they are in the grassroots. So we have to reach the grassroots and we have to work on all these things to ensure that this bill is passed. So in an overview, let me just run through it again. Advocacy to legislators, we need town halls and sensitization. We need engagement with CSO, just like we are having right now that Women Radio and Voice of Women Empowerment are doing this. We need influencers partnership. We need to also talk to our traditional rulers and our faith leaders. They are very important in society. So we need to find a way to explain to them that this bill is not coming to harm anybody. This bill is just here to stay and also to encourage and to strengthen our democracy. Don't forget affirmative action in our constitution. So this is what this bill is just.
Go on.
So I was speaking about the data the other time, and let me just put it out there that we have 1,460 legislators, both in the Senate, House of Representatives, and State House of Assembly, and just 64 are women. So that is the number we have. And when this bill is passed, it's not that we are having a figure going to 35. What we're just going to have is we are going to move from 4.4% of women in legislators in legislation. We are going to move to 11.1%. So it's a gradual work, a baby step we need to take. So for us to all work together to ensure we have these numbers, I think we need to just take the steps that would enable this bill to be passed, which I have highlighted.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel, for that. Moving forward, Chikas, from your perspective, when should we realistically expect the bill to be passed, if all goes well? Chikas, are you there? Hi, Chikas, can you hear me?
Chikas, please, can you unmute?
Yes, I was having difficulty, but thank you so much for that question. So the bill is expected to be passed in October because the National Assembly is on recess right now. So upon resumption, the bill is one of the bills that are at the front burner for constitutional amendment before the National Assembly. So by October, hopefully this bill will be passed. And going forward, from the National Assembly, we need those bills to go to the state assemblies, where we need, out of the 36 states House of Assemblies, we need 24 states to vote in favor of the bill. At Takaichede, wannan bill in an resume a National Assembly, su members namu, su senators, the House of Reps, za su zo su yi zama a kai, domin bill din yana cikin wasu bills da House of Assembly sun sa a voting for in dai sun dawo daga recess. So in sun dawo October, muna fatan za su zo a yi zaɓen wannan bill ɗin, kuma daga bill ɗin a House of Assembly zai je state assemblies sai a voting nashi. Thank you.
Okay, so we would like to open the floor for participants. I must say thank you for staying with us. Thank you, thank you, Chikas, for that answer. So if you have a question, please raise your hand on the Zoom or type it in the chat. For those joining on social media, kindly drop your questions in the comment section. We will now hear from our distinguished, yes, so kindly do that. I think I have 2 questions from my end. So I would like to call on Dr. Sydney Jack to ask a question directly to Chikas, please. Dr. Sydney Jack Adora, please, are you there?
Put it again.
Okay. So I would like to ask Dr. Sydney Jack to ask her question. So she said she has a question to Chikas. So please, are you there so you could ask your question?
Okay, I think she's having difficulties.
Just read her question.
Okay, you can read her question, yeah,
Okay.
please.
So let me just read her question. So this is to Chikas, please.
From Dr. Sydney Jack.
Yes, from Dr. Sydney Jack. So she said, here is it. Sorry, hold on. Let me read it to you. Okay.
This
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So this is it. Please, what about young women with disabilities? How would they be included? Yes, how would they be included? Will the quota include them? So this is to Chikas. So she's asking, what about young women with disabilities? How would they be included?
Thank you, Dr. Sydney Jack.
You have 1 minute, Ma.
Yes, this bill is inclusive of the older women, the younger women, and women with disability, because they are a critical part of the population, and we have competent women in that constituency that need to be in Parliament to make out laws and adjust our policies to one that will reflect the people. Remember, I talked about the people being part of the population that needs to be represented. So because they are part of the population, they are also going to be part of this bill, when it is passed, there will be a representation of women with disability. Thank you.
Okay, so we've established that there will be representation of women with disability. All right. I mean, this particular webinar is for young people. We need to have this conversation so we better understand House Bill 1349. Tom, I want to direct this question to you on the role of young people. How waiting young people? Why are we here? What are we here for, right? Waiting young people got to do with this bill, and how do we ensure that the bill is passed?
Oh, okay. Before we bring up Tone, I think Aisha has a question. Yes, please. Before we bring up Tone, I think Aisha has a question.
Okay, yeah.
So Aisha, are you there? Can you send your question to me, or you'd like to ask your question directly?
Is Aisha here? Okay, I think
We're trying to unmute her.
Is Aisha here?
Mm.
Okay, yeah, keep your questions coming. We'll collect everything.
Aisha has posted a question.
Okay, has Aisha posted a question?
Yes, so
Okay.
let's check the chat.
Okay.
So please let the questions keep coming. Young people,
Yeah.
we have your time today. Ask all the questions you want to
Okay,
ask.
so Aisha Abubakar, right, said,
Yeah.
I'm the founder of Wisdom Circle Mentorship Initiative, a platform where Northern Nigerian women share experiences and guide younger women on navigating life, business, and leadership. My work focuses on bridging the gap between traditional on representation and cultural context in Northern Nigeria. Cultural and religious values are deeply rooted in our way of life. How can the reserve seat bill for women be implemented in a way that respects our cultural and religious values while still ensuring that young women like us have meaningful political representation? So we'll direct these questions to our advisory.
Yes.
I don't know if NID is online. If she is, we would love to hear from you. How, considering our religious and cultural value, how do we make sure that this bill is implemented and also respect our values while ensuring young women still have meaningful political representation? Is NID available, or Mr. Austin Aibe? Okay, I think NID is here.
Okay, thank you so much. You guys are just super. You are fantastic. The coordination, the panelists. You see, this gives you an idea of what we have when the reserve seat bill is passed. I'm so proud of you, and I know that the youth too are proud of you. Women are proud of you. The men are proud of you. Persons with disabilities are very proud of you. I wish Bumida Dikbosalami will respond to this question, because recently we had a strategy meeting, and it was a number of persons that came from around the country, and this very issue of religious, sociocultural dynamics were dealt with sufficiently. So I don't know if you would like us to pass the question to her, because I know Baobab is doing so much around the country so that nobody is marginalized, nobody is excluded. Let me quickly say this, that if you look through history, right from the very first republic, there were very prominent women in the North, despite the fact that we don't have this awareness that we have now. Women like Haja Gambo Sawaba of Nepu, she did very well. She was so prominent. Women like Chief Mrs. Margaret Ekpo, Chief Mrs. Can you imagine? The name is escaping me. Mrs. Anikola Kuti, Fumilayo, the first woman to drive a car in the country. But that is not the only credit to her. She was able to go and mobilize other women and was able to find women. So you are looking at cross-cultural, interreligious, as well as across social paths. Because if you look at Chief Mrs. Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, as Chief Mrs. Margaret Ekpo, they are not at par in terms of talking about class. They are not at par in terms of talking about education. Yet they were able to break that down. This is why this reserve seat is so important. They were able to go right to the north, did all they needed to do without stressing the religious norms, without compromising on the cultural situation. And they were able to bring her, and they were a great force to reckon with. If you look into, I was just checking a while ago, in 1960, the first woman to be appointed in this country as a senator is Mrs. Worola Eson. She was appointed that by Chief Femi Awolowo. And why was she? He saw the skill in her, but she didn't just rest there. You, the younger people, can put this on the search machine, or you can ask ChatGPT to tell you about this woman. But not much has been said about her. What did she do? She didn't just remain there in the Western region. She crisscrossed to other regions to be able to bring out women. So this is what is happening. So that's why I want women, Bosalami, to respond to this, because Baobab for Women's Human Rights is doing a lot in terms of bringing cross-cultural issues, religious issues, such that it's convincing enough to say that, look, this bill is good for everybody. It's not going to stress. It's not going to compromise your religious belief. Because religion is meant to grow us. It's not meant to limit us. So the seat is good for every woman from all geopolitical zones. And the other women who have already gone ahead will be able to bring them together. Because if you look at history too, some have asked, what is the evidence to show that women have done well enough to be able to occupy these seats? That one is already given. Because if you look through, women like Honorable Speaker Ite, she's the first person, now I'm not saying first woman now in this country, to give women 70% of positions. And that means so much to democracy. Wow. She has persons with disabilities. The first spokesperson for a person of that level was appointed by, I was her essay on women and youth. She also had a special advisor on women and youth. She had key positions that men would ordinarily want to give to their likes. She gave it. So it's there. If you look at what Honorable Mulika Atakande, as the first female house leader did, she brought stability. Time will fail us to be able to harness this. So you as younger people will be able to look at all this. And they never discriminated, because women have this attitude. They have this inborn tendencies to be able to harmonize all differences. So it is a woman who will go to the north, to go to the south, to go to the west, to go to Christian, go to Muslim, and also go to even those who are free thinkers and will not blackmail them, will not stigmatize them. So the bill is just good. The time to implement this bill is just now. So nobody will be discriminated or marginalized as women.
All right. Thank you so much. Let's move on to the next. Outcome thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Madam Ene Ede. And also, I would want to thank Chikas for the question. Dr. Dora says, thank you for all that you do. So straight to the next question from Komola Fed Joshua. First, my thanks to the Women Radio for this opportunity. With the importance of women in parliament already highlighted, my question is to Chikas, but I want to direct this question to Mr. Austin Aigbe. To what extent would the implementation of this bill affect the lives of undereducated and marginalized young women, especially in northern Nigeria? Yes. So, Mr. Austin Aigbe, so this question is to you. Should I read it again or is clear?
Can we unmute? Can you unmute? Sorry.
Okay. All right. So I was trying to unmute. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. So clearly, there's need to understand certain basis. The bill is not a fight, so to say. The bill is just bringing to fore certain category of us. When I say us, in this, the Constitution of Nigeria recognizes male and female. Us to the table. So issues of us is brought to the table. The benefits are enormous. They are enormous because of each one's perspective. The perspective of a male is very different from the perspective of a female. When you talk about health issues, as Checkers was talking earlier, it was focused on those health benefits and all that the question asked directly. For instance, when we talk about maternal mortality, when you talk about so any kind of health issue, including infant mortality and all that, the best person to address that kind of issue will be the one who gets the greatest wrong. And usually, those who bear the greatest, I'm not saying that men don't bear those. I'm saying the ones who bear the greatest wrong will be the female. For instance,
okay.
There is no way a man can ever get.
Sir, your line is breaking.
It's a woman that gets pregnant.
Your line is breaking. We can't really hear you. We're so sorry. Hello, sir. We're so sorry. The line is breaking. We may need to move to
the next question or the
yes.
directive.
I think we'll redirect the question to no. Yes, I think we'll redirect the question to Dipo.
Yes. Dipo Salami. I think we'll redirect the question to her.
Yeah.
So let me read it again.
Yeah, please read it again.
Let me have the chat.
Okay, so we'll redirect the question to I don't know if you heard the question. Can you read?
So let me ask the question again so we could be clear. So first, this is from Joshua Komolafe. First, my thanks to the Women Radio for. Okay, let me ask the question directly. It says, so to what extent would the implementation of this bill affect the lives of uneducated and marginalized young women, especially in northern Nigeria? So this is to Yeye Dipo Salami.
Please, we appreciate to keep your answers within 2 minutes so to help us progress here. All right.
Oh, okay. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for giving me the space, giving this youngish grandmother the space, the opportunity to participate. I think that the first question also by Aisha, I would like to take it as well. Because when we're talking about women in northern Nigeria, we keep referring to them as, we have this perspective that they're unable to participate. But I want to say that the deputy governor of Adamawa State is a woman. That is a northern state. The deputy governor of Kaduna State is a woman. That is a northern state. We have northern women in the cabinet, in the federal cabinet. My religion says, this is what my culture says, because people are really, breaking the barriers. They are shattering the glass ceilings. We have women that are Muslims, that are from northern states, that have shattered the glass ceilings in Nigeria. So what young people What I would say to young people is to tell yourself that I will shatter a glass ceiling, regardless of what my society says. And the question that is talking about how everybody will benefit, the reserve seats for women bill is a special vehicle that purpose vehicle that gives women access to the table. It doesn't say women at the urban cities. It doesn't say women in rural communities. It says women in general. So we are saying that if you are a woman and you are a politician, you will have access to the special seats, which means everybody must belong to a political party, because we still don't have independent candidates yet in Nigeria, in our system. So you must belong to a political party. You must want to be, and then I always say to everybody, politics is not for everyone. Just like every woman cannot be a petroleum engineer, every woman cannot be a politician. If you don't have what it takes, if you can't stand the heat, you have to get out of the kitchen. So it means that you have to be determined, you have to be courageous, and you have to want to the best for Nigeria for you to get to the table, for you to benefit. I hope I've answered the question.
Thank you very much. I think it's very important what you said about the fact that it's not sensitive to where you are from. It's for women. Rural areas, urban areas, it's for women, as long as you're a politician and you're interested, because it's important we do not categorize, women. A woman is a woman everywhere. All right, so next question.
Okay, thank you so much for that answer, Yeye Bumi Dikko Salami. So this is from Ituno. Ituno Lua is our person. She's the youngest parliament in Lagos, I must say. So she asked a question, but she stated, so I was at the office of one of the legislators whose name I wouldn't love to disclose. After much conversation regarding convincing this person about the beauty of HB 1349, the person asked a very important question that left me with much to think about. The question was, why are we so concerned about the person representing rather than the result? Shouldn't we be more focused on ensuring our representatives represent us effectively rather than trying to add more seats? Would like any of the panelists to answer. So I would like to direct this question to Yeye Dikko Salami, please.
Oh, okay. Again, I'll say that
sorry, we would like to see your face.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I'm trying to remember that. Okay, can you see my face now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It is normal, it is natural for people to protect their space. And that is what that person was doing to you. It's about to them, power is a zero-sum game. It's either you have it or you don't. And then expanding the table, bringing in more chairs to have women will mean that some people will think they will not be as powerful as they are. What you should say to such people is that this is not about any individual. It's not about women, it's not about men, it's about Nigeria. It's about even giving legitimacy to this democracy that we currently practice. Because you can't say you have a democracy where you have less than 10% of women, whether at national or at state level, local council and all of that, and that you don't have up to 10% women in a democracy that is for everybody. And looking at what women bring to the table that men do not, I think it's going to benefit Nigeria. Nigeria is going to profit from this. And people talk about the cost of adding more women. That is something that they also talk about, that why don't we just make this number that we currently have, why don't we make it work? Why are we incurring extra costs? But studies have shown that bringing in the number of women that we say we want to bring in will cost Nigeria less than 1% of the budget, okay? But then the cost of not having women is more than 10%. And we are saying, looking at just opposing the figures, isn't it more effective, cost effective, to spend less than 1% than to lose more than 10% of the budget of the economy on, because we don't have enough women. So it's important to stress that this is not just about women. It really is about Nigeria. Bringing in more women is about Nigeria. Bringing in more women is to even take shame and embarrassment out of our faces. When we travel out of Nigeria, we are always so embarrassed at international fora. And sometimes I wonder how our elected officials can attend such fora and still, maintain their composure, and they are still smiling, they are still happy, they are still going shopping and all of that. So it's very important to state that this is not really just about women. It's about generations yet unborn. It's about the dignity of Nigeria. It's about even improving our economy. That is why these seats are very important.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is very important because Tom said something at the town hall meeting we had, which was very striking to me. She said, you can't advocate for something you have not experienced.
Yes.
And talking about the men, as a man, there are many things I cannot understand about women.
Yeah.
And if you have 50% of the population as women and you don't have as much representation, it's an error. Secondly, we have seen so far statistically that countries where we have more women representation, you have better laws around women.
Yes.
You have better laws on child mortality, child poverty, women welfare, social welfare. It's a statistical fact, and that's because women understand some dynamics, especially things relating to women.
Yes.
All right, so it's not a women thing. It's more about empowering, giving balance to empowerment. All right, so we'll answer one more question. Ralia Timothy. My question is very important. This person is a mathematician. What metrics or evaluation frameworks are being considered to measure the bill's impact once enacted, especially in terms of women's welfare, empowerment, and household stability? Also, what does the bill specifically address? Does the bill specifically address the economic empowerment and legal protection of stay-at-home women? And what mechanisms are in place to ensure its effective implementation across different states?
I must say, this is from one Gen Z, so I love the vibe. I love the fact they're asking question.
Who should we push this question to? Like, the question is about what metrics. I don't know if who do we direct this question to? Because this question is really powerful.
Yeah.
I think we should direct it to Ene.
Yes.
Day, because she has a lot of experience. So Ene Day, please, can you help us? What metrics or evaluation frameworks are being considered to measure the impact of this bill once it's enacted? What metrics?
That is interesting. We are not surprised that it's coming from this constituency. In responding to that question, his question is futuristic, yet we need to deal with it now. Well, let us take an excursion into history. Let's look at what has happened from 1960 to date. There is a lot that happened before 1960. And then from 1960 to the 10th Assembly, because we are focusing on the Assembly particularly. We are not looking at just governance generally. But let us also look at other aspects of government. I remember in 1996, I recall when Senator Desi Danjuma, when she came up and said, look, Nigeria was running on a democratic deficit. What did she mean by that? What she meant by that was that Nigeria was not doing well in terms of gender inclusion and other social inclusion. Looking at what has happened since 1960 today, let us Even look at 1983, when there was one female senator, Senator Franca Afegwa, in the whole black world. If you look at the motion she brought to the Senate, if you also look at, you do an evaluation of the bills that she pushed, unfortunately, we have not had sufficient documentation of this. It will tell you that it's overwhelming, even though she was the only woman or out of the 109 senators, that is 108 were men. Subsequently, too, you could see the gaps. What are the kind of things that women push for? That will tell you how you can do the rating. Somebody had said, we were talking yesterday, and she said, generally, that men are capitalists by nature, while women are socialists, and there is a need for the merger. If you look even in more advanced democracies like America, China, Russia, UK, the kind of things women push. Take, for example, when Hillary Clinton was in the Senate, the kind of things she pushed, people look at it as soft issues, but they are the issues that touch every life, including men, persons with disabilities, women of all categories. Looking at here in Nigeria now, when we had 7 women in the Senate, go and check, look at the issues of national importance that were brought in. There was no trivial matter. Yes, only yesterday, the Director General of the World Trade Organization, thank you so much, Women Radio. I saw that you made sure you made it very visible. The Director General of the of the World Trade Organization said Nigeria competed. Nigerian women, they had a big competition to win grants to go to international market to go and compete. And that Nigeria did extremely well. So she had to come all the way to thank Mr. President. You've done well by profiling women. And it's because that you made a woman the minister in charge of industry. So there is a nexus, there is a connection between women doing things that benefit everybody and what other people do. We are not blackmailing men because they do very well too. Look at what the Deputy Speaker and Mr. Speaker are doing. So we have opportunity too of doing impact evaluation. Look at a proposal about breastfeeding. Somebody say, what is the big deal about breastfeeding? Our great-grandmothers were breastfeeding. But our great-grandmothers were not involved in governance the way we are involved now. It means we will need to look for how we can use legislation to empower them. Just like Article 14 of the Maputo Protocol that we made, Baba gathered us recently to examine, to say what are the limitations, what are the opportunities we have for implementing the entire Maputo Protocol that sits so well with this bill, that the bill we are requesting, we are asking for. We realize that even that the health of women, talking about menstrual hygiene, how many men will go and talk of menstrual hygiene? They will be laughing. Have you started menstruating? But it's a very serious issue because it can incapacitate women. They will not be able to be productive enough because it's an interplay between their body, nature, and their physiology. So women push for things like this. Mental hygiene can be legislated so that women can be given opportunity to have enough time to focus on their work. I remember the manager with NTA, he gave women menstrual leave. People were laughing. They call him all sorts of names. This one is woman rapper.
Thank you so much.
So it's absolutely important that women, it will raise this, that is also the fear, but it will not diminish the capacity, the competence, as well as the contribution and space of men, even as they will continue saying natural gifting.
All right, thank you so much, Mark. I mean, you said something striking. Men are capitalists, and I'll never forget this. Women are socialists. We need the balance of both. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anna Ade. So these questions, I'll direct them to to Austin Aigbe, to Mr. Austin Aigbe. So I have 3 questions here. I'll try to simplify one question because I'm seeing one big grammar that some of us Gen Zs might not understand. So he asked, how will nepotism be dealt with, as we know it is deep-rooted in our political system? So I had to go and simplify the word nepotism. So I would ask in a more simplified manner, how can we stop politicians from favoring their family and friends in appointments and decisions. So this is to Austin Aigbe. Yes.
Thank you very much. I believe you can hear me clearly now.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Okay, fantastic. So nepotism means favoritism, to favor one after the other. You see, I really don't have problem when you favor someone with a capacity to do the job. Just favor, let your nepotism be in the right direction. So it means that you are favoring in the direction that puts the right peg in the right place. That's okay. But I have a challenge with maybe what you would call tribalism and ethnicity, which become a very big challenge. But in any case, the Constitution of Nigeria has actually addressed some of those things in a way that the Constitution, even as you are talking about special seat, reserved seat for women did today, at some point in Nigeria's history, we have a problem in this country where certain aspect of Nigerians or Nigeria was doing better in terms of education, economy, and etc., while other parts of Nigeria was not doing well. So the Nigerian people had to come together. How do we resolve it so that we are all together? The Nigerian Constitution came up with an affirmative action principle. So when people talk about what's special, why don't you do why don't you do what you're already doing now? If what we're already doing now is okay, well, are we going to be asking for more? What we are asking for is because we don't want the competition. We don't want, it's not a fight. We realize now that there's a disconnect, particularly in terms of issues that matter to household, issues that matter to community. See, what Special Seat B will bring is not about women. It's just a pity that the name is reserved for women. It is about development. It is about inclusion. These are fundamental principles of democracy. Are you getting me now? So at some point, the story I was telling you about just now, at some point in Nigerian history, there were certain ethnic groups in Nigeria that were not really involved in governance because of their educational status. The Nigerian Constitution came out what it's called today, the Federal Character Commission. What does the Federal Character Commission mean? It is to deal with issues so that everybody can be on the board. So nepotism is not as bad as ethnicity and tribalism. Nepotism, you can use nepotism in a positive dimension in a way that I know I'm the president of Nigeria. I can say that Madam Tone is the right person for Minister of Information. I can use my power to get her on board. If I follow politics, I may not be able to. I can use the power that I have as a nepotist to get her in. But when nepotism becomes bad, it's when it becomes favoritism in a way that is linked to tribal sentiment or ethnocentrism. Since the person has to come up with big English, let us also take big English. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So I think we'll just join, for the sake of time, we'll just join two questions from Facebook together. And sir, I would like you to continue the train of thoughts. Let's ask those two questions.
Okay, so I would before then I would like to say I agree with Tone being the I agree because she's doing an amazing job, I must say. So this is from Facebook. It says media is very critical. How can the public awareness reach the people and ensure it's not distorted? How can media reach be tracked so that we are sure its influence and impact? Now from Prince Victor Oyefeso, he's a politician. How would the bill ensure that these reserved seats translate into meaningful political influence and policy changes for women beyond just increasing numbers in the national and state assemblies? So is it clear, or you want me to read it again?
I heard the first one about media. I didn't quite get the second one.
Okay, let me read it again. It said, "How will the bill ensure that these reserved seats?" Yes, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, I think it's your network. And so right, for people asking questions, a lot of these questions are, some of them
and policy changes for women in numbers in the national and state assemblies. That's a good one.
All right. Austin, over to you, sir.
So I'll answer the first one, but maybe the second one we can read again. So the first one talk about media. You see, for today's world, we have all manner of information platforms, including the social media, or what they call the new media. It's your responsibility to listen or read what you think is right. For instance, I'll give you a good example. Any information you hear from stations like Women Radio is authentic. So if you have a challenge, for instance, with information deluge, that's too much of information, get across to Women Radio for verification. The problem today in our ecosystem in media is that there are too many information coming to us. So somebody has just asked now, share the bill. And I will encourage that Women Radio share that bill widely for people to truly look at it, because there's a lot of misconception about the bill. So it's good that you, as a young person, settle down, read the bill, and have the lines to yourself so that you're able to speak to it directly. Then once you don't understand, come back to Women Radio for adequate information. Maybe I'll stop here because of time. But the second question, I didn't quite get it. You talked about a politician or something.
Yeah. So the second question has been answered by NAD, which talked about what will the bill result to in terms of practicality. Yeah, I think it has been answered. So we'll just go to one more question. With more women coming into the House of Assembly, how can we ensure that this shift is seen as a collaboration rather than competition? Did you get that question, sir?
So should I go ahead on that?
Yes, please.
Yes, I do. So first is that I have used the word "it is not a competition" at least up to 3 times in this conversation. The bill is not competitive. The bill is complementary. It's complementing the already existing effort to expand the base of development, to bring to the table what is already not being discussed or emphasized. As Madam Ede said a while ago, there are some critical things that need to get to the table. See, before I stop, let me quickly put something on the table. There are all manner of leadership style. There is one unique leadership style that people don't talk about, that is not even taught in our university, but it's a leadership style. It is called empathy. Empathy is a style, it's a leadership style that helps the leader to be able to wear the shoes of the followers. It is empathy style is more than servant leadership. Servant leadership is a very good leadership style, but empathy is one skill that women has almost 99.9%. A woman has the capacity to understand what the children are going through. The woman has the capacity to try to solve the minutiae of the problem at home. That same skill is what we want at the national level. You made an allusion to the fact that in countries that are led by women, some human development indices, human development indicators are higher. Countries like France, New Zealand, countries like Sweden, Finland, New Zealand, countries, and if you take that going to the time of COVID, countries that were led by women, because they have the skill called empathy, they were able to, their resilience level were more, because that empathy translated to the sufferings of the people, and they could invest more in pulling people out of poverty and resolving the greatest need of those countries. Countries like the United States, as at that time Donald Trump was president of the United States, late Buhari was president of Nigeria, these two countries actually did not perform
in terms of development indices during COVID. If you compare Finland, Sweden, and Nigeria and the United States. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been remarkable.
Yeah.
Honestly, thank you to all our speakers. This has really been educational and remarkable. So, Tom, I'll go over to you. How do we? Why are we here? What is the role of young people, the Gen Z, Gen Alpha? Most times when we're talking about politics, it seems like is just for the elderly. So the question now is what is our role?
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you very much. So first, let me acknowledge the Right Honorable Abbas Tajuddin, Speaker of the House of Representatives, who is championing this important bill. That is sponsored by Honorable Kalu, the Deputy Speaker. These are two men that we salute for championing the cause of an inclusive Nigeria. And when that bill is passed, we will not forget them. Their name will be written in history. Now, the role of young people, I fear young people, because when a young person decides to drive a course, you can be rest assured that the world will be talking about it. So the role of young people in ensuring the 1349 is passed is very critical, is important. We are involving every Nigerian youth because you are the drivers of modern advocacy. You can push conversations from small WhatsApp groups to national headlines. You can create a ripple effect that would reach every corner of Nigeria. We've seen it happen. And here's the challenge for you, dear Nigerian youth. When you leave this webinar today, please don't just log off and move on. Take what you have learned, HB 1349, and educate at least 5 people in your community, in your school, in your workplace, your online network. Can you hear me? That's what we want you to do. If each one of you can do that, we're not just talking to a few dozen or 100 people. We will be reaching millions of Nigerians by the end of the week. You, Nigerian youth, will help us to talk to your mother, your daughter, your dad, your guardian, your uncle, your auntie, your neighbor, any Nigerian around you. Just tell them HB 1349 is that bill proposed to establish reserved seats for women in both the National Assembly and state houses of assembly to address the underrepresentation of women in legislative bodies. That change, that voice of the Nigerian youth will spread wide. With your support, we know that the bill will get to every Nigerian household that we need to get to. Once again, I just want to salute the Right Honorable Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and the Deputy for pushing this. Thank you very much. That is our charge to Nigerian youth. Take it from here to your WhatsApp group, to Twitter, to the market, to homes, to churches, to mosque, anywhere that you find yourself. Take 5 people around you and break it down for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was really, this is really inspiring, and I feel fired up. It's just like I should just enter road now and start shouting. Carry bell, balang, balang. Reserve seat bill is so inspiring, so inspiring.
Yeah, so thank you so much, Tom. That was a very inspiring charge. So the survey on the reserve seat bill is dropped. So please just check your chat box. Yes. So please drop your number and data. Some of us joined because of data. Please drop your number and data. And I want to say thank you to Women Radio for that. I must say thank you to them. So call for action, the community for youth on the reserved seats. So please go and tell 1 person, 2 persons, 5 persons about the reserved seats for women bill.
Also, right, this conversation continues. It doesn't stop here.
Yes.
You can follow Women Radio online online.
very important.
Try and follow all the speakers online. You always see Google with your friend, right? I know that in this 1 hour, 30 minutes, a lot of people might not still get the full picture, but if you go online, you see a lot about, and then you can reach out to any of us. This conversation continues.
I must say that please drop your numbers, your WhatsApp number, because we'll be creating a WhatsApp community.
Oh, awesome.
So that we have everyone together
Awesome.
with that from the north, the east, the west, south. So please drop your number and what state you're in for that, please. Thank you.
Okay, so votes of thanks.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me? All right, thank you very, very much. The webinar has been very, very inspiring. You know, for those that have not even heard of it before, this is a big opportunity to know what it entails from the beginning, what it is, what we need to do, the benefits to Nigerians as a whole. So I want to say a very big thank you to the young people who joined this webinar. And remember, today's conversation is not just the start. Each and every one of us has a role to play in pushing out this bill to be passed. And on behalf of Women Radio 91.7 FM and Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation, VOW, I want to sincerely thank everyone who made today's webinar on the reserved seat for women bill a success. Thank you very much. Eshegon Nangode. Yes, Nangode. Thank you very much, Odima. To our amazing speakers, Rebecca Gamel, Emmanuel Olonode, and Chikas Kumle. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, your insights, and your passion. Your voices have truly deepened our understanding of this bill and the change it brings. Thank you very much for that. And to our advisors, Yeye Bumi Dikbo Salami, Sir Austin Aibe, Madam Ene Ede, we deeply appreciate your wisdom, encouragement, and your continued support for women's political inclusion. Thank you very much. And finally, to our participants, we are the reason we are here. You are the reason. Without you, we cannot hold this. We thank you very much. On Women Radio Network 7 FM across Facebook, our viewers, Facebook and YouTube, thank you for giving us your time, your engaging, your questions, your opinions. Thank you very much for committing to be part of this movement. Remember, your voice and action can make this bill a reality. We can do this together. We are one together. Let's keep the conversation going, alive. Tell everybody, even if it's a teenager, tell everybody. Let them know. Let's work together towards a Nigeria where women and girls' voices matter and we are well represented in leadership. Thank you all and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you very much.